So just really quickly, I just wanted to make a video because today I was out. Basically, the video that I wanted to make was about how we do things that we don't want to do and how that may be affecting our psyche, our spirit, and our chakras. So this is a horrible example, but I'm going to give it anyway. I was food shopping with my mom and I wanted to stay in the car. And she's like, no, come with me. And I understand she doesn't like doing anything by herself. She just wants company. And she just basically wants to send me around the store to help her out. Fine. And part of me was like, you should enjoy these moments because you don't know how much time you have with her. We just had a recent death in the family that was very traumatic for everybody, and still is. And, it just teaches you to spend more time with the people that you love and whose company you enjoy. So I'm like, fine, so I went with her for that reason alone. That was it. But then I was walking around the whole time and I'm like, I really don't want to be here. I hate food shopping. I order everything online because I do not want to go into the store and like do all this stuff and then, saying excuse me every 5 seconds because it's just packed and whatever. And I thought to myself, how often do parents make their children do things they don't want to do? And then it becomes part of their psyche. So they get in relationships with people and they do things they don't want to do on a consistent basis, which tears them apart and breaks them down on the inside because you're constantly forcing yourself to do something you have absolutely no desire to do. Now, I understand to be part of a relationship, to be part of a family, you do things you don't want to do sometimes. It's just part of life. Like that's part of the symbiotic relationship. Like you give and you get. But how often are we doing this to the point where it's detrimental to our psyche and it actually causes pain and a tearing of you on the inside? Like your chakras are imbalanced because you're constantly trying to please people, but you're never pleased and nobody's really trying to please you. So I just thought that was really interesting that all came about. And I understand like sometimes like a parent will say, come with me to the supermarket because they want to teach you how to shop for food. So they'll be like, oh, look at this meat. This is how you buy meat. Oh, look at this fruit. This is how, and I get that. So, it's part of it's a learning process. Another part of it is that some people just can't be alone. Another part of it is, perhaps a person just really likes, your company and just wants to spend as much time with you as possible, which is what I think is going on with my mom. Because we only see each other a few hours a day. So, she makes the most of it. And I totally get that. And I'm so grateful and appreciative and I love her to pieces, but I just did not want to go food shopping. But it brought me back to that point of how much are we giving of ourselves and how much are we getting in return? And I know they say you're supposed to give without expecting anything, and that's understandable. But when you're giving so much and you're doing so many things you don't want to do, and it's interesting because a few days prior to this, I was thinking about how many people have a job that they hate. They do it, and like I was trying to tell my brother because we were trying to get him to like get a job that makes a lot more money than what he's doing. He's a waiter right now. And we're like, well, a busboy and like busboy / waiter, depending on like whether or not somebody calls in sick. And we're like, you should get a real job. And he's like, but I don't want that. I want to do this. And he was like telling us what he wanted to do. And we're like, yeah, but you need to pay the bills. And then that made me think of how many people, because I refuse to go back to a 9-to-5 job. I mean, I might, but I don't want to. Because I put my dues in, I have enough experience to do my own thing, and I am doing my own thing, but it's not as lucrative as a 9-to-5 job with all the perks. I was making very good money when I worked, in corporate America. So to be an entrepreneur, yes, I have far more time, which is far more valuable than the money, let me tell you. Like the fact that I can go see my mom every day and hang out with her a couple of hours versus only seeing her every so often is priceless to me. Time is just priceless right now. So to me, that made sense. But how many people every day, and I did it for 20 years, like I missed birthdays, I missed holidays, I missed all these things. And when we had this recent passing, I had knee surgery. And my mom happens to live on the 3rd floor. So I couldn't go to visit my aunt who had recently passed. And the day before she passed, I was able to go up and down the stairs comfortably. And I had held her hand and kissed her and told her, like, I'm going to come by every single day starting tomorrow. And that next morning before I arrived, she had passed, which broke my heart because I had set the intention to spend every day that I could with her. And I couldn't spend any more time with her. And I share this with you guys because it made me think of all the birthdays, all the Christmas, like all the holidays, all of everything that I missed because I was working, trying to make money. And yes, I know we need to make money and we need to survive, but I missed so much. And then I got into a car accident, and I've had to have 4 procedures, and I still have 2 more to go, but I don't even want to do them. And had I not had this last procedure, I would have been able to spend more time with her. But because I did, I wasn't able to go up the stairs and see her, and she couldn't come down because of her, condition. So we had lost a good 4 or 5 months together, And it just goes to show you, like, how time is important, and how what you do with that time is important. And then it made me think, I did all of that. I worked so hard for so many years, and I've lost so many memories, and I miss so many things with the people that I love for money. I was chasing money. And I understand we have to, because, again, bills have to be paid, and luckily I'm a single woman. Imagine I was married with kids. I would have been, a slave to my job, trying to make sure my kids have everything that they need, So when I was reflecting on that, I realized that there has to be a balance, and it's very difficult to find that balance. I think it's easier when you have a partner because you can each take turns. It's easier when you have an extended family, especially if the extended family lives together, which is what we're trying to do now, is combine our 2 households so we can be back together as a family. The passing of my aunt taught us a lot, and now I'm spending as much time with my mom as I can. And we're trying our best to just unite so that we can save money and buy a house and do a lot of different things differently, because that's what my aunt would have wanted. So it's like a rebirth of the family unit. And I'm sharing this with you because if this helps you to make this decision prior to somebody passing, I hope it helps some people to kind of see things differently. But I was just thinking about how many times, we do things we don't want to do. And the question is why? Why? Why are we doing this? We're doing it because we want a better life, right? But isn't a better life spending time with friends and family? And I understand there's a lot of people that are like, no, you have to work hard. And I get that. I've seen it. I grew up in an entrepreneurial neighborhood. Everyone in my life is an entrepreneur. Everyone in my life does very well. Oh, my girl is calling me. I got to call her back. And I totally understand that. And I had the same mindset, But then when something like this happens, it kind of reminds you, like, what is important. And the whole premise of this video, because I do that, I just kind of like, is that why are we doing what we're doing, and why is it that we do so much of the things that we don't want to do? Like, and mind you, I'm a very free spirit. Like, everyone says that I do my own thing. If I feel like going to the movies and nobody wants to go to the movies with me, I go to the movies by myself. If I'm in the mood for a steak, I'll go to the restaurant and I'll eat a steak by myself. Like, I don't, if I'm in the mood for chicken Alfredo, I'll go I get whatever I want whenever I want. If I want to go to a concert, I buy one ticket and I go by myself if I don't have anyone to go with me. I live my life. Like, I'm not like sacrificing for anybody but me, But the whole point is that, like, I was just reflecting on my life and thinking about how much I've missed with the people that I've loved that wanted to spend time with me, but I couldn't. And then I was thinking about how I didn't enjoy the time that I was spending with my mom in the supermarket. And then I thought about all of my friends who call me every day and tell me everything they sacrifice for their kids and their family on a daily basis, and how they sacrifice what they want to do and what they want to achieve in life for them. And the question is, how do you find that balance? How do you not consider it a sacrifice and you actually change your perception to enjoy the moment that you're spending. Me, I've always just enjoyed all the people that I work with. So when I went to work, it wasn't like, oh, I have to go to work and I hate my job. It was like, oh my God, I love the people that I work with. Except for with the jewelry company, I only had like 2 people. The only job I ever had that I didn't really love the people that I worked with. I liked them, and I get along with everybody, but it wasn't like we weren't like good friends. That's the only job I ever left and I didn't stay friends with anybody, was the jewelry company. Other than that, and that's the big company, not the little one. The little one, I'm still friends with everybody. The big one, not really. And that's the only job I ever had that I was like, I didn't dread going to work because I actually like had great conversations and I actually enjoy the people that I work with, but we weren't friends outside of work. So I try to make the best of it so that when I go, I'm like, yay, we get to talk, we get to hang out, I get to find out what happened, blah, blah, how's your mom, how's everybody, and I make the best of it. A lot of people don't. A lot of people really hate their jobs and they're miserable and they're doing stuff they don't want to do. A lot of people are in relationships and they think to themselves, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it. Like the other day I was contemplating that I don't like cooking. I actually hate it. And I know you're not supposed to say that word. I do not enjoy it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't care what anybody says. I know I'm supposed to. It's a maternal thing. You have to cook for your family. And I'm telling you, when I get married or when I find a good man that is my man, and I'll cook for him. I'll cook for my family. I'll do Thanksgiving dinners, when that time comes. But until then, I don't want to. It's not. I would rather read, take tests, get licenses, work. Like for me, that's easy. Cooking is like, I feel like a waste of life. And that's something that I do that I don't like doing, but I'm willing to do it when the time comes for the people that I love. See, that's another example. Like I'm willing to cook and I'm willing to wake up every day and I'm willing to do all these things for my friends and my family because I was taught that this is what you're supposed to do. But I don't like it, and I'm sure that we're all out there doing stuff that we don't like. But the question is, why? And then the answer that I got was because we're no longer in extended families. For example, if you had an extended family where it was like you, your parents, your brother, your sister, everybody lived together in a community, there are people who like to do certain things. Some people love to cook. They'll cook for everyone. It's not work for them. Other people like to carve. Other people would be blacksmiths. Other people would make beds. Other people would be carpenters. Other people would paint. Everybody would have a purpose and they would be doing what they love. And we would all be happy living in a community. And then, like some people would create new jobs and other people would have to take on jobs that they don't like because we need that until we can train somebody who does, But still, that's part of like a communal living. It's part of an extended family. Everything is easier when you have an extended family. If you need to go somewhere, somebody will always be there to watch the kids, but we don't live that way anymore. Now everybody wants to move out and live by themselves and be by themselves and be independent. And that's really, I think, where people fall apart because when I did real estate on a consistent basis, I saw families come from Mexico with no money, like very little education, and they came here and they got a job, and there was like 10 or 15 people living together, and they got an apartment, and they slept in shifts, and they all worked different shifts, and then a year later they would come back and buy a house cash because they all worked together to buy that house together. So they were willing to do stuff that they didn't want to do because they knew that they had an outcome. But they actually achieved that outcome. It's not like you're sitting there working 20, 40 years for nothing. Within a year, they bought that. Then they all lived in the house together. Within a year or two, they came up with more money and bought a second house. And then the family split. And they kept doing that and renting out different apartments in the house because they would get like 3-family, 2-family houses, things of that nature. And so they could buy buildings. And all of a sudden, these people that came here with nothing, that barely speak English, that are, cooking in the back of a restaurant or cleaning houses or doing whatever it is that they're doing, babysitting, whatever they could do, because they work together, they have that freedom. And that's kind of like where me and my family are at this moment, is we're getting back together as a family to make sure that we achieve our goals and our dreams. But still, it bothers me that we're doing things we don't want to do every day. And you might not realize it, but if you think about it, do you really like that thing that you do? I mean, some people are free and they actually love every part of their life. I was there at a point a while ago, and I'm still happy. I just want my knees to work. If my knees were working, I would be all over the place right now, but I literally have to rest and I have to take it easy because I need my knees to rest, to heal. But how many people are actually doing, and what is it doing to your soul? What is it doing to your life force? Forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do, denying yourself the freedom and the joy of doing what it is that you want to do, not actually partaking in a career that you want to do. Like one of my friends was asking me, she's like, what makes your soul light up? Like, what is the one thing that you want to do that makes you happy? And I told her, I said, the only thing I love doing is talking to people, which is why I'm a consultant. And I do tantra healing. I'm getting into the crystal work. It's because I love talking to people. I like finding out what their problems are, and I love to help them because I can get to the root of the problem and understand it and then break it down into something that makes sense and then come up with a healing, not a ritual because I don't believe in rituals, but like just a template or a healing course that they can do, like things that they could do throughout the course of the next couple of months to help them bring that healing, because it comes from you. You have to want to do it. There's nothing I could tell you what to do. You could read 1,000 books. If you're not putting in the energy and putting in the effort, nothing's going to happen. I love that. I love traveling, which is why I want to do my documentaries. I'm going to set up a GoFundMe account, and I want to go to Tibet and study with the monks. I want to go to India and study with different gurus and understand the history of India and the history of healing. I want to go to China and study with Chinese medicine herbalists, and I want to go to Native American, they're not called camps, but I want to study with the Native Americans and see how they heal. I would like to go study with the Aborigines. I would like to go to all these places and travel and document it, like videotape it, document it, share it with the world. I think that stuff is so fascinating. I love to travel. So I love traveling, dancing, and talking to people. Those are the three things that always bring me joy, that when I come back at the end of the day, I'm like, that was such a great day. I love that conversation. I loved dancing to that music. I loved learning about another culture. I loved being in another country. Those are the three things I love to do. Those things light up my soul more than anything in the world. Anything. I know for some people it's being a parent. I know for other people it's, helping other people. For other people it's, drawing or painting or singing or making music or writing music or making movies or writing books. Like everybody has something that they're passionate about, caring for others. But those are my three passions. So I'm starting a GoFundMe account so that I can go and do that. So I can take my time and do that. Again, it's ironic because it keeps me away from my family, but it still fulfills my soul, so that when I come home, I can spend time with them, but I know that I'm doing something good for me, and I'm educating people who watch my videos for the world, and I'm just happy because I know I came here to dance. I know that. Like when they're like, why did you come to this planet? Me and my friends talk about that, like we all chose to be here. I was like, I came for the music. I came to dance. I came for the roller coasters. I came for, all that adrenaline pumping fun stuff, the traveling and all that. I came because this is the best time to be on this planet. You can go anywhere in the world. So when I make this video, I'm not saying like I've lived a life where I wasn't, like I've lived an amazing life. But in that moment, I didn't want to do that, and I did it. And I found that lately, in order to have certain people in my life, I've had to do a lot of things I don't want to do, because that's how you keep your partner, and that's how you keep your friends, and that's how you keep your family. And in the past, I've always had different groups of people that I hang out with, so there's a balance, so that if I don't want to do this, I can hang out with this person, and if I want to do that, I can hang out with this, so there was like always a balance. But it just made me think, because a lot of my people that I've been coming across and talking to have been telling me how they feel unfulfilled because they're always doing things they don't want to do. And they feel like they've lost themselves. And they feel like they don't know who they are, what it is that they want. And I just find that, like, I don't understand that, because I know myself so well and I have so much time to myself that I'm able to figure these things out. And that's what I'm thinking about when I'm alone. I'm not like occupying my mind with dumb stuff or like social media or like listening to music when I should be thinking about other things. Like I prioritize my time. And it just amazes me how many people are not happy in their lives. so as all of this was happening and I was having these conversations with people, I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I don't know how many people feel like that. Like, how many people feel stuck, and how many people feel like they're not on their path, and how many people feel like they don't like what they're doing and they're not happy, and they're giving too much of themselves and not getting enough in return, that their batteries are depleted, and they live every day and they give so much they don't have anything left for themselves. Those are the people I want to talk to and help and heal. I created a program that teaches you self-love and self-care, and that helps to replenish your battery and get you back on track. And it's based on the way that I live my life and how I've always kind of like had that balance, with the exception of like working on holidays and all that stuff. But the only reason I worked on the holidays is because you get paid double time. And I'm like, okay, so I'll work on a holiday and then I could take a regular day off, and it's like the same thing because you get paid double time. So I just thought that was really interesting. Like, as I got into Tantra healing and I saw the teacher that I was working with coach all these people and they all had the same story. And then like, I only noticed that pattern a few times in my life where I felt depleted or I felt like I was giving too much of myself. And then I felt empty, and then I had to recharge. But I know how to recharge, because I know what I love and I know what makes me happy and I know what fills my soul. But today I was just like, I really don't want to do this. And I did it. I sacrificed because I love my mama and she doesn't want to be alone. And I get it, when you're like this, you don't want to be alone at all. And I know we have very little time together. We don't know how much time we have together. So I get that. And I have no problem with that. But how many people are doing this every day, all day long? That is dumbfounding to me. But I just wanted to share that with you guys, because if you are that person, and you can't afford coaching because, sometimes it's like $250, $350 an hour to talk to somebody to help you get back on track, or if you're part of like a program where it's a group thing, you might pay like $100 or $150 for like a 2 or 3 week course. But it's a group thing. If you can't even afford that, like, just write down what it is that you love to do. What is it that lights up your soul? What is it that makes you happy, and then make time for it? If you feel like going to the movies, go to the movies. If you're afraid to do things by yourself, why? Ask yourself these questions. Why aren't you doing what you love? Why are you afraid to do things by yourself? What is it that you want to achieve? What is it that you're looking for in life? What is it that you want for your friends and family? How can you be that for them without losing yourself? Why did you lose yourself? When did you lose yourself? What was it that made you lose yourself? Like go through your thoughts. Sorry. Go through your thoughts and spiral back to that moment where you realized that you sacrificed or you did something, and then you created that pattern and you continued that pattern. It's a cycle. And I have like lots of tips and tricks to figure out how to get back to that. We do it through conversation. We do it through memory. We do it through journaling, like a bunch of things. Like, I'm just telling you guys because I know not everybody can afford, consulting. But I wasn't making this video for that. I was making this video because I just realized today, because it's just happened today, that a lot of us do things we don't want to do for the sake of others. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you do it to the point where you lose yourself and you're not happy, and then you get to the point where it's just like, luckily that hasn't happened to me yet. It never will. But for the people that are suffering, and I'm sorry. And I hope that you guys can figure out how to make the change that you need so that you can live the life that you want, so that you can live the life that you deserve, so that you can find your peace. Because like the one thing I've always said is like, I just want peace of mind, and I feel like if everybody has peace of mind, not only will we all be on the same frequency, will we elevate this planet to the next level, but we're going to be able to help everyone that comes in our path, because we're not full of chaos and energy and toxic gunk and all that stuff. But I'm rambling, so I'm going to go. But I'll talk to you guys soon.